to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host and fellow stand-up comedian, Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I think I pulled my back in my sleep.
Let me put my...
genuinely, I woke up and it hurt so bad, and I was fine when I went to bed.
Yeah. I've had similar experiences where I wake up with a tight shoulder. I'm like, did I just pitch 6 innings in my sleep? Like, how the hell did I pull that off?
Yeah. My girlfriend asked me what was wrong, and I wouldn't tell her.
Why'd you just look like you were in a bad mood? And
no one should mate with anyone that they know is this weak. It doesn't bode well for offspring.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're pulling your back out when your skin's still tight.
What's the dumbest injury you've ever gotten? Like, just like of that level of like doing nothing, hurt yourself. Okay.
So in PE and school, this is the other thing. This is why I actually believe in certain martial arts that look silly. I actually think that with the right practice, they could work. So you see stuff that's like, you see these like Wing Chun videos or, Aikido stuff or, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, that would never work in a real fight.
Jazzercise.
Yeah, sure. Especially jazzercise. Especially getting physical in skin tights.
Yeah. Solid gold dancing. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Well, because you see stuff like that and you're like, this would never work. But you don't know that it wouldn't work because under the right circumstances, anything could work,
Right.
And I feel that because one time we were playing volleyball in PE, and I went to just do like, one of those underhanded like hooks of the ball, like pop it back up in the air and everything. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I connected with the ball, so this isn't even me trying to punch the ball back up. As soon as I connected with the ball, I like basically pulled the hamstring on my other leg.
Oh, jeez.
And so it was like, imagine the ball coming to meet my hand. The ball doesn't even go back up in the air. It just hits my hand and droops off my hand and hits the ground, and then I hit the ground screaming. It was like out of a cartoon because I was just like, ah! And then as soon as I went to hit it, it like some weird. If it was like a kung fu cartoon, you would have seen my skeleton or something. It looked like the worst version of Mortal Kombat. It's crazy because you don't think you could hurt yourself in such a awkward way.
Right, yeah. No, I think we mentioned it before, but I've had multiple times where I've genuinely hurt my back by just having that moment where you step on ice and go, whoo? Like just doing that. I've done it multiple times where I've been like, then my back is fucked up for like a whole day. You reminded me though of volleyball injuries. I weirdly have a couple of injuries associated. Well, one's not really an injury, but with volleyballs involved. In middle school, I remember there was a recess where we were just like, and it was like in the gym because I think it was like during the winter. And it was just like, like this point in middle school, for some reason, we would still get like short recesses. But they don't really do it anymore, but we used to still. I remember we were in the gym and we were just playing dodgeball. We just split the gym down the middle, a lot of us, and we're just playing dodgeball. But we were like using volleyballs and just really winging them at each other. And I remember this one kid threw. I think I remember who it was, but he was like a pitcher and like a quarterback and stuff. Had a good arm on him. He launches it at me. Square in the balls, just drops me to my knees. And the second my knees hit the ground, another one hits me right in the face and then knocks me backwards. So it was just like wham, wham. And then this is the only time I've ever had this like with a nut shot. Then like my balls hurt for an entire class period after that. And I went to my next class and I just sat down and like everyone kept walking by like, hey, you doing okay, buddy? And I just like sat down and like put my head on the desk. I was like, oh God. And then the teacher comes up and he's like, Logan, you okay? What's the matter? And I'm like, yeah, man, I just took one in the jewels. Like was my exact wording.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was like, well, okay, sorry. Science is starting now. Sorry about your balls. I don't think I can say that as a teacher. I'll get fired.
Yeah, you probably won't be able to learn this at this class, but you'll come back ready tomorrow.
Yeah, just know some good stuff's happening on the board. You'll get it later. Don't worry.
Yeah. It is funny because it's like when you in PE, our PE teacher was like a true sadist, and he had us play dodgeball, but one dodgeball game would last the entire period.
Oh, really?
So what he would do if you were out and you wanted to stay in, which of course everyone did at the beginning, you had to do this very weird, complicated run, like up and down the bleachers. Like you didn't just do a lap around the bleachers and come back. You had to go up the bleachers, down again. Then you had to go across the bleachers and then up. Then you had to come down again and then do like a circle. It was like it would take you some time.
Run over to
right?
the bench, solve the Rubik's Cube, run back, tag your partner.
Yeah, it was like the Amazing Race without any puzzles. It was just because then even when
The
I was
Amazing Race
out,
without any adventure.
yeah, I was out, and then I was like, "What do I need to do again?" And he got exasperated with me, like I'm
Like you made it up.
Yeah, like I made it up. I'm like, wouldn't it just say 4 times? Like, why are you making it this like it almost felt like he made us run that very specific course to get us dizzy so that we were worse when we came back in. Because kids were getting out and they'd run the course, and now you're coming back into the game winded.
Yeah.
And so you're winded, dizzy, and you got hit by a dodgeball, so you're not feeling great.
What happened to just like jailbreak? Like just way off to the side, wait for jailbreak. What's this new step?
Dude was a maniac. Dude was legit, like he was insane.
For your PE, did you like, because since you're saying your PE teacher was a maniac, was it like all just fitness stuff all the time basically? Did you have that kind of PE? Because I found there's a lot of different tiers that people had in their PE class growing up. Like some were like, you hear about some people, it's like it was constantly like doing the running and rope climbing and like all that stuff. And then mine was like, we literally went ice fishing and did archery and did orienteering and we did rappelling and scuba diving.
Jeez.
We did so much shit. Horseshoes, tennis, shuffleboard, like we did billiards one year. He would just get, actually a couple years in a row, he would just get a bunch of pool tables from I don't know where.
Yeah.
And we would just take over the wrestling room, and like a couple weeks would be us just getting good at pool.
That's insane.
I know.
That's
I know.
amazing.
I know ours is super weird, but
that seems like PE at a boarding school.
Kind of. But it's like I think it was just a small school in Iowa, and like most kids are in sports, so it's like, you know, didn't have to push a lot of us that hard. And the ones who really don't want to run are the ones who are going to have an excuse to get out of it every other day anyway.
I mean, we had a general. We
went
had
bowling.
At least what I feel is general.
Yeah,
Bowling.
Bowling. For some
okay.
reason, trying to correct it, I almost said boiling.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say boiling. And
Yeah,
then I was just
yeah,
like,
we,
what sport is that?
Yeah, no, we spent a couple weeks just boiling, crawfish. We just really got into, just
you made us do
gumbos,
push-ups.
Yeah.
Made us do push-ups in the water until it got hot.
Now, while your gumbo's cooking, you got to do wind sprints.
Yeah, it was insane. Like basically, there was one where I it wasn't me, it was another kid. But am I crazy? But
Yes.
does every ice? Okay, well, good to know. Now, am I crazy? But is this also a weird fact? Does every school seem to have a Scuba Steve?
You're gonna need to elaborate on that. What do you mean?
I guess I'm just wrong. So I
you
feel
mean
like
the toy from the movie Big Daddy?
no, not the toy. I feel like I've been in several situations. Maybe it's just a Southern thing or something. I've been in several situations where someone named Steve had the nickname Scuba Steve.
Well, I think that came from the movie Big Daddy.
That's what. Okay, so I'm wondering how big that was, or if I just know like 4 guys whose nickname is Scuba Steve, and they're just not that interesting or something.
I mean, I remember it being kind of a big deal when that movie was out. You know, this is another great one that our younger listeners are really gonna, attach to. They're really gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't try to take us here. I'm just telling you
I know, I'm kidding.
the
Jeez.
person. I just feel like I feel crazy because I know so I've.
It is weird that you knew like 4 guys named Scuba Steve, but I'm pretty sure they probably all have it just because of that movie.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is what I'm guessing. Unless a couple of them were like scuba divers.
Yeah, I mean, at least one of them probably.
Are any of them a marine biologist now,
Oh, none of them.
or a lifeguard?
Not at all.
Well, then I think they just watched that one Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. I
Is
think
what
you're
it's
right.
sounding like. That's what I'm guessing.
You really put it in perspective for me because I spent my entire childhood being like,
Yeah.
why is he named Scuba Steve and he's named Scuba? And then there's an adult named Scuba Steve.
I mean, it still though supports your thesis of wondering are there all these are there a bunch of Scuba Steves? And your question going to, is that like an uncreative nickname? Yes. So it's just a different route, but we still got to kind of what your thesis was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
just like,
took
yeah, it is
everyone on this long and terrible road to to get us to this place of one time when we were playing dodgeball and we were very early in the process. So only 15 minutes had passed. So only a few kids were out. They were running the laps, the weird obstacle course, and running back in. And at one point, this is a particularly epic game. At one point, maybe we're 45 minutes in now, so there's only like 5 minutes left in PE, and it's like a tight neck race to the point where he calls it, where he's like, all right, from now on, if you're out, you're out, because he knew it had to end sometime. And Scuba Steve got hit. He got hit real good in. I know there's a scientific term for it, but I'll just say stomach. Somebody got him in the stomach real good, and then
What other way?
like, I don't know if it was the solar plex or like whatever hit
abdomen?
him. I mean, yeah, abdomen. Whatever hit him knocked the wind out of him.
Right.
But this is the other problem. Diaphragm, maybe. Like, this is the other problem is whatever
Intestines,
you throw a ball.
Gut. I just wanted to see. How
I
long
mean, that's too deep.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
he
see how
would-
long I could interrupt you with.
I mean, he would have been bleeding.
Yeah.
You hurt his intestine.
Took a dodgeball right in the intestines.
Had to have it removed by a doctor. So basically, so the ball that hit him got him out, right? Mm-hmm. But even if you have the best of intentions and you're not trying to be a jerk, because there were kids like that who would try to like hit you when you weren't aware, even though you were out and you were walking off because they were just dicks.
Sure.
But in this was a genuine mistake. About 3 different kids threw a ball at Scuba Steve.
As he was walking out?
No.
Okay.
In earnest, trying to get him out.
Okay.
One hit him in the stomach.
Right.
Which made him duck from the next one that was about to hit his face.
Right.
But as he came up, the last one, like the furthest one away, he just looked right up into it after he got hit in the stomach. So then he crawled. He crawled off of the court, and the PE teacher felt so bad for him. He was like, "Look, that was kind of uncalled for, even though it was a mistake. If you want to run a lap, I'll let you go back in." So he does. He's like, "All right, I'm going to do this for my team. I'm going to do this for myself, I guess.
I will have my revenge."
He runs this complicated lap.
He solves the lap puzzle, and then
yeah, and then right as he's like, you can see the smile on his face. And right as he's about to run on, like the movie Dodgeball, he's going to try to catch one to get somebody out or something.
Yeah.
He's like posted up. Like, you could make a trophy out of him running back onto the court, just smiling mid-sprint, and then runs right into a ball that was meant for somebody else. And it hits him across the other side of the face.
Oh, that's good.
It's so thin. Then he just he did this like chicken thing. Because I guess he didn't like want to grab his face, but he was also like disoriented. And so his arms were up, but they weren't touching any of his body. So he just had this weird like arms up thing out of pain. So he got hit and he's like this. And then as his head goes back and his arms go up, he like just because the other side is already very red. Like I should mention, Scuba Steve is white, so he's very red from all the times he's been hit.
I kind of felt like it went without saying with the nickname Scuba Steve.
You never know, though.
Yeah,
it's
true. No, it's true.
Want to assume
it's true, but it just I don't know. It's hard to.
I've met a lot of black Bubbas.
Yeah, but I don't know. Bubba's got some flavor to it. Scuba Steve, it's just so nasally. I don't know. It just seems.
Yeah. And he was very, very white. So now he is very, very red. His whole head looks like a cherry. And the kid who kind of like from when you got hit in the balls, the kid who pitched that one was meaning it for a very agile kid. So he put a lot of mustard on it.
Right.
So you can actually see a couple of lines on Steve's face. And now he's been hit so hard that genuinely, I couldn't tell if he was concussed or just blinded by being hit in both sides of the face by the ball. So he just starts wandering towards the other team.
Well, he's got his arms out. He looks like that scene in Platoon. Like then he just like falls to his knees.
Yeah. Dude, it was so
gets
bad.
More in the back.
And then you just hear the PE coach like, Steve, get out the way. And Steve just is going like, oh God, like because he's like trying to shake it off,
Right.
and he doesn't know he's walking in the direction of more oncoming balls. So he gets hit like in the knee and then in the arm, and so then he just hits the ground and he just sort of like crawls off of the basketball court. Oh man.
I remember one time in gym class, we were playing Capture the Flag, which I'm assuming everyone knows that game. That's not regional, right? Everyone knows Capture the Flag. You got the gym. It's on either end of the gym. One team trying to catch the other one. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I get surprised every now and then what things people don't have. But we were playing, and
you know how poor you'd have to be to not have Capture the Flag? That's literally imagination. That's literally... That's anything could be the flag. Another kid could be the flag.
Well, dude, I started when I started subbing, and I subbed for a PE class, and they were right away. It like was written down. It was like, "Oh, play Six Flags with them," and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "There's not. That's like hours away, and the price of admission. That's gonna be. There's so many kids here." But it's like they have a new version now where they do 3 flags on each side, and each team has to capture all 3, which I think was just a smart way to make a game go way longer, so you don't have to intervene. Because they're always stealing just flags back and forth. Yeah. Anyway, we were playing Capture the Flag, but this was in the winter. And back when I was in high school, like now the school has like a whole addition added onto it. Like they added a whole extra part. So they didn't have this storage issue before. But during the winter, like in the real dead of it, they would bring out all these big coat racks and kind of put them in like our entry commons area that we called it, the commons. But it was like, they just kind of would put this big coat rack there so everyone could hang their winter gear. Because we did like half lockers. So you couldn't really fit all your stuff in your locker. So you have to like hang your coats in this. During the day though, like it was getting towards lunchtime, and we also would have lunch in the commons. So like about lunchtime, and my gym class was right before lunch, they would move all those coat racks into the gym, right? So those are now kind of just on the back wall near one of the doors. And then we're playing Capture the Flag. And there's at one point where I'm running, going for the flag, and the last thing I remember is looking down and grabbing the flag in my hand. And then the next thing I remember is me looking up and being pulled up off the floor and seeing just everyone laughing very hard, including the gym teacher who's laughing very hard. Turns out what happened was I was running, and while looking down and I grabbed the flag, I then, like a coat had fallen off of the rack. I stepped on that, slid like a cartoon character on a bar of soap, slammed into the coat rack, and then fell down very hard, hitting my head. So I got a concussion. Because I do not remember any of it at all, but they were just like, no. First you were doing this, and you're this, and you're that, and I just said, I'm like, guys, I don't, because they helped me up, and I just went, what happened? Did I win? Did we do it? Did I capture it?
That's insanity.
So I slid and just slammed into it and dropped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like there's so many instances like that where you're a kid and you're just like playing something, and you either you either get hit or you hit something, and it reshapes your day.
Well, because that was weird too, because that wasn't even my first concussion at that point, so I kind of knew what had happened. I'm like, I'm missing time, you guys. I think that was another concussion. I've had like 3. Jeez.
Yeah,
my first, because I had that one. I had a concussion in football where me and another player, we slammed helmets really hard into each other. This was during a football game. We just connected helmets really hard, like stared each other down, and then walked away. And then I got to the sidelines. And I literally just like clutched my head and was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I just had like the worst migraine I've ever felt in my life. The weird thing was the missing time didn't come till later. During the football game, I stopped knowing where I was, like while playing, and I stopped. Like we'd lean in to hear the play, and I wasn't able to like comprehend it. And I was left offensive tackle, and I would always then my friend Tom, who was the guard on my side, it got to the point where I just turned to him and go, what do I do? What's it on? And he'd be like, when he says hut, block that guy. Like that's how we played like half of a football game. And I gotta say, we watched the game tape the next day. I played a pretty good fucking game for a brain damaged weirdo. I was actually kind of on fire, man. I was watching. I'm like, man, I was making hella blocks. Wish I remember them, but I was doing really good.
Man, I'm waiting for a play in a football game where, you know how the linemen line up, where the other team, whichever team is going to employ the strategy, I'm waiting for like the whistle to blow and like the ball to get hiked, and then everyone on the quarterback's team just backs up. Like just back up 3 steps and let everybody from the other line fall, because you expect another person to be there and like hit you. So it would be so funny if everyone just moved out of the way. It would only work once.
It would only work once, and even then
it would be so funny.
They usually stand up kind of to get in it. They don't just dive forward on their heads.
I mean,
they just let their hands out. I hope someone catches me.
Yeah, but they stand up like they lunge for that other person. So if you just back up, they're gonna at least trip,
or just knock you on your ass.
I mean, that's the fear. I feel like that's why nobody does it. But legitimately, if you and I like were lined up,
that's the fear.
It is, because it's like if I told a football coach to do that, he'd be like, "You're out of your mind."
I mean, no, it's true. I mean, it's like why they teach you like when you're a defensive lineman, they teach you to just real quick, right when the ball snaps, just quick, like grab the shoulder of the lineman across from you and just tuck it down a little bit and swim over them. Because a lot of times they will, if they haven't started standing up yet, you can just pull a dude right down.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it would work once.
It would work one time
because they
and then you get your ass throttled for the rest of the game because you've embarrassed this team and they're out for blood now.
I mean, if they want to try, but they don't know if you're going to stand up again or not. Right. Now you've set up that fear. because it's exactly like when you watch a football game and you watch, like, don't even watch the rest of the play, just watch the linemen. I'm telling you, man, they even though they're standing up, they're leaning way too heavy forward.
Yeah.
They don't even take, half the time, they don't even get to take a step forward. They literally just stand up, lean forward, and there's already somebody blocking them. So if you just move out the way,
I like the tips from Coach Joshy here. These are good.
I got one play for every game. What else you want? Baseball? All right.
Did I tell you about this? Just happened a couple weeks ago when this comes out, but there was the Iowa State high school football playoffs were happening, and I can't remember if I told you about this, but there was like the highest scoring game in state history just happened, and I'll tell you this: one of the teams scored 94 points, and they didn't win.
Wow. So
the final score was 108-94. That's an NBA score, not a high school football game score.
I can't tell if that means both teams are really good or both teams are horrible.
But that's what it was on while I was teaching at school. One kid, then it was like third quarter still. One kid's like, it's like 70-something to 60-something. And I said, did neither team bring a defense? Did they forget? Are they down? Are they down, people? But it was just, I mean, it was 8-man football too. 8-man tends to be a little more high scoring just because I think, I don't know, you got a little more wiggle room or something. But there's less dudes out there.
Wait, how many is it supposed to be?
11. It's usually 11 on 11, but they're smaller schools. They're different division that is 8-man football.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're missing people, I imagine you'd score more.
But they usually they restrict the field a little bit too. It's not like the full football.
Yeah.
Field. 108 to 94.
I mean, you'd imagine those have been some of the best plays in the history of high school football, or else both teams are just really bad at stopping things they don't want to have happen.
The clips I saw, it was actually just a fairly sloppy game. Like there was one point like the quarterback just got hung up and just kind of like lobbed it awkwardly, and someone caught it, ran it in. Like it was. I think it was insane. It just felt like a like a schoolyard football game where it's like both teams had a really good player each, and then no one else really knew what they were doing. Just taking turns running it back. Gosh.
That feels like it feels like when you watch. I mean, we haven't watched that many together or anything, but it feels like when you watch some of those rare, like professional MMA fights where both people are bad.
Yeah,
and it's there's a lot of knockdowns, but it's not because either one of them are good. Like one was a trip.
I mean, it's like if you drop a pot of chili, sometimes it'll look like a Jackson Pollock. You know what I mean? Every now and then you'd be like, oh, wait, okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. I got to shampoo the carpet, but look at that.
A Jackson Pollock is, I mean, a bowl of chili is a Jackson Pollock twice a day. Because this is the thing. When you're dealing with like things that could have you prone to injury like that, like football or combat sports or anything like that, it's like sometimes it's just very funny because sometimes the effort to do damage and the effort to avoid damage can sometimes look very funny. Like I actually went to an amateur MMA. It was like an amateur promotion. So these people are fighting to like improve their record to go pro, Because because like something like the UFC or something like that, you want to have an impressive record coming in, not just for you to be able to say I'll belong here, but also for them to take you seriously. And so you see a lot of these like hometown, just like homegrown MMA matches that are like, oh man,
the ones that make you go, is this legal?
Yeah, but not even. Here's the thing:
they used to have those in like bars in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I'd be like, I feel like that. That shouldn't be happening. This just feels like this is just sanctioned assault. It feels like kind of really.
Yeah, what people don't seem to understand with those two is that only a handful of them are like really bad. Like really bad, sloppy. You don't want to look at the person's face. Right. Their face is burger. Usually they're bad because they end very quickly and they're one-sided. So I actually watched one of them. I have no idea what happened to this guy, but he was beating. he was beating everyone on a dominant level. Like he was beating them, not even in a way where you're like, this man is skilled. This dude at one point, which this isn't even legal, you should never do this. This dude was beating another guy so badly that then the guy jumped him to try to go for a guillotine choke. If you don't know what a guillotine is, it's basically when you get someone in a headlock and then you try to choke them out leaning back, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was not only not being choked, was not like responding to the choke at all.
Yeah.
He stood up with the guy still on him, took his mouthpiece out so he could take some deep breaths, then put his mouthpiece back in and slam that dude to the ground. When he took his mouthpiece out, I was like, guys, you need to stop this fight. This isn't a fight. This isn't a fight. And the only
he's about to eat him.
Yeah, the only person who doesn't know it is the guy who thinks he's choking him.
The only one who doesn't know he's losing is the backpack.
The guy who's like, are you out yet? Is he standing up because he's out? Is that him quitting?
Yeah.
And then...
Am I being picked up because I won? Everyone's so proud of me?
I watched a guy try to get away from another guy who was really coming at him just with a barrage of punches. And instead of trying to dodge any of the punches or counter or go for a takedown or anything, this dude literally ran like he was an extra in a Bo-Rat movie. It was like
in a what movie?
The Bo-Rat movie. Remember they did that MMA scene?
Bo-Rat?
Yeah.
Oh, Borat?
I thought it was Bo-Rat.
Are we, as in like my wife, Borat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Bruno.
I think you're thinking of Bruno, but also just the way you said Borat, it was like Bo-Rat. Like it sounded like a Southern wrestler.
Yeah, who like how am I supposed to say it?
Borat.
Borat.
Yeah. No, I get it now that you say it, but first you were like in that Bo-Rat movie.
Yeah, well, how do you say it?
Borat. Like
Bo-Rat.
I want to be very clear. I'm not like laughing at your pronunciation. I'm just laughing at how you keep doing it the same way. It's
well, I'm trying to hear how you're saying it. That's different from
Borat.
Bo-Rat.
That's better. It's just the first few times we're like Bo-Rat, like it's two different words.
Yeah, Bo-Rat.
No, but they're not two different words. It's one word.
Yeah, I'm saying one word. I'm not taking a break.
You're hyphenating it at most.
Bo-Rat? Where's the hyphen in Bo-Rat?
I was where you're fucking putting it, where it doesn't belong.
It's Bo-Rat, right?
It's Borat. It's a little thing. I truly did not know what you said at first because you said that Bo-Rat movie.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Bruno though.
I mean, yeah, the MMA thing you're thinking of, I think is from Bruno.
Okay, am I saying that one right? Is it Bruno or something? Something I'm not aware of?
Yeah, you're saying Bruno right. I didn't mean for it to go this way either.
I didn't think you did. I mean, I don't even think anyone's going to remember what we were talking about now. I think it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was MMA something. You were on something about that Bo-Rat movie. You can hear the different way I'm saying it, right?
No.
Borat and Bo-Rat?
No, goodness. Bo-Rat.
Borat.
Bo-Rat.
There, that was better. That was better.
But that's what I've been saying the whole time.
No, you have not. The first few times you said Bo-Rat. And that is just not how it's pronounced.
Borat.
Let's move on. This has got to be torture to listen to.
Fuck.
Oh, no, dude, don't. I can talk more about getting concussions. Let me.
Yeah, the guy just ran from him a lot.
Oh no, I took away his confidence. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I wasn't trying to make fun of you. I was just trying to clarify because I didn't.
No, I didn't think you were trying to make fun of me. I was also confused.
This is that bin Ben thing over and over again.
Did we actually leave that in?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I also have had situations in my apartment where I'm just alone, where I've like hurt myself, and so those are a little less embarrassing because you don't have to feel like, oh, I messed so much up or I'm such an idiot and I embarrassed myself in front of a person. Mm-hmm. But there is a small part of you that's like, I don't know, God saw it. That's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
if heaven's real, Grandma just saw me.
So actually this would have been a weekend that we hung out together.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was still living in Chicago and I was on my own at this point at my studio, mm-hmm. and I genuinely, like we're talking serious, I choked on a sunflower seed to the point where I really thought I was going to die.
I remember you telling me about this.
I was like, how? But even as I'm choking, I'm like, there's no way. It's
right.
one seed. Mm-hmm. like even as I was choking, I was like, how? It should take more to lodge my throat.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not trying to knock it loose with other sunflower seeds.
Yeah. I shouldn't need a plunger for a seed and a piece of shell.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as if I was choking as in I couldn't stop coughing. I was legitimately choking like my throat was stuck.
Jeez.
And I was like, how? Like, even if it went sideways, I should be fine.
Seed, not the shell. Like, just the seed?
It was the seed and it was a little bit of shell. And my throat was closed.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I almost tried to give myself that self-Heimlich. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where you like slam on a chair or something?
So
you just fucking pile drive yourself into the back of a chair and hope whatever you're gagging on comes out. Yeah, I'm familiar.
I beat my own ass across the apartment because so I'm choking, right?
Yeah.
And it took me maybe 2 or 3 seconds to realize, like, oh, it's been a while since I took a breath. I'm really choking. And then I didn't have a chair. I didn't own a chair.
Yeah.
So I just slammed myself against the kitchen counter. And it wasn't even the angle, because you're supposed to put the chair under you a certain way and then
you're supposed
plop
to get
down on it.
The aforementioned diaphragm. You're supposed to kind of pop right there, but you're
no.
just body checking yourself,
and then
like a fucking self-hating hockey player.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's not working. And so then I did it again.
Oh God, this is how it ends. This is how it's over.
So then I also was thinking, like, okay, but normally when you're choking, before people give you the Heimlich or something, they slap you on the back. So maybe if I just slam my back.
Fuck off. No.
I didn't get a running start or anything. But basically, I tried kitchen counter, right? Yeah. And then I was like, that's clearly not working. That's only hurting my chest. And so then I just went against the wall behind me, like. So I didn't slam myself against the wall, but I just tried to bounce my back against the wall like someone would slap your back if you were choking, and that also didn't help. So then I was like, if I can maybe dig it out with my finger or something.
I already know how this is gonna go.
And so then I put my finger in my mouth. And I was definitely choking worse, but it wasn't lodging it.
God damn.
And then finally, I took as much, because I didn't have that much air left. I was really panicking.
Yeah.
And so then I I just stood there, like just stood center of the little kitchenette that I had, and this is like after the finger thing, and then I just like really punched my own chest, like really like gave it like some beats, and that sort of knocked it loose.
God damn it! I want to apologize in advance for laughing very hard at your funeral because your death is going to be hilarious. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to be some cartoony shit. Your fucking obituary is going to read like a Marx Brothers movie. Like it's going to be.
Dude, it's like it was so scary because we're also talking about a period of like 30 seconds. Like,
right,
not,
but that feels really long when you're choking.
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
and this was, you said this was your studio?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so there's that moment too of living by yourself. Because I had that too, living in that basement unit I had in Chicago, where if anything happens, you're like, oh fuck, no one will find me for days.
Yeah.
And I had a dog too, so my thing was always just like, it depends. You know, I won't be mad at her if she needs to eat me to survive. If no one's found me in like a week, if she like goes like the second I'm done breathing, I'm gonna be mad at her. I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
If she's like, oh, eyes closed, lunchtime.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah. I mean, it was terrifying because I was like, when you don't know, because most people can hold their breath for like 30 seconds or something, but when you truly don't know,
right,
that it's like
when the next
your last breath, for a little while was 10 seconds ago, and now you're like, what's happening? And then you realize you're choking, and it wasn't even a choke that was like, I'm choking and I just can't force it up. It's like lodged.
No, yeah. I'm just imagining the detectives now, and they're in your apartment, and they find your body on the floor with your own finger just crammed in your mouth, and then they're just like, we found a bunch of bruises on his chest too. Weird.
I mean, the best I can hope for, is that I'm not alone, and someone else in Chicago has died by a single sunflower seed. And then when the detectives find me, they can be like, I think we have a serial killer on our hands.
It's the sunflower killer. He's out. He's back again.
Yeah. Because
we thought he was gone for years, and now he's back.
He clearly beat this young man and then left his signature one sunflower seed.
Made him kick himself to death. It should be funny. The idea of murdering someone by holding their own finger down their throat. Just, I don't know why that's a funny visual. It's a horrible thing, but I hurt my shoulder bad enough the other week that I had to literally like sit down and ice it for a little bit. What I did is I held something up like this, like clothes. It was something super light. I was for those of you listening, I raised my arm up slightly. I was just getting.
He raised his arm up like he caught a big fish.
Yeah, like, oh, there it is. You look.
Yeah.
Except for it wasn't a big fish. I think it was a pair of pants that I was just like picking. I was like getting just laundry out or something. And I remember moving it, and Jess was standing there with me, and I just went, ow, ow. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. My shoulder hurts so much now. And then I couldn't get it past, like I couldn't raise it up at all then for like the rest of the night. And then this is where, it's fun to live with a nurse, because then she made me sat down and like ice it and wouldn't allow me to do anything. Here's the thing. It even kind of actually is a little hurt just doing this right now. I got a fucked up shoulder though, so that's why. But I fucked up my shoulder from a different injury, which is actually it's my other concussion. Let's get into this. Josh. This is my tying it all together. You know me. This story, but this is the story of how I received a massive concussion and some slight brain damage, which I love. Anytime I open with that, I say I've had brain damage, and someone always goes, "Well, that explains a lot," which is just a nice way to make fun of me. It's a
nice way to find out.
Yeah,
someone is not original.
Yeah, yeah, and just mean and hateful. So I got a really bad head injury after football practice in the locker room. You notice how I told the football one first to make it sound like they happened on the field. This one happened after in the locker room,
but not the same day.
Not the same day. No, these were different years. Even this actually happened before the one in football.
Oh, okay.
This was, I was in the locker room. I don't remember this whole day. I remember like up till like lunch that day, and then like erased the rest of the day from my mind. But apparently, what was told to me later was that we were horsing around in the locker room. We were weirdly like way too comfortable around each other in the locker room. Like, weird stuff happened there. I remember once I went to college and like would tell some stuff. I remember having some friends be like, "Why? What? Oh my god!" And
so none of you were dating. like that seems like the next question.
I had a girlfriend at the time, you know. She was in Canada though. Like she went to a different school. You don't know her, but like I had.
But I had her.
Yeah, no, because we used to do dumb shit like just cover the shower room floor with soap, and then you get on your stomach. And we'd have races back and forth. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
That sounds.
Yep. Bring it home.
So nasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably one of the nastiest things I feel like you could do with soap.
I'm surprised there weren't more rashes, to be honest. I was really
because the idea that you're on the ground. Yeah. And it's not a clean floor just because there's soap on it.
Well, and especially too, it's like right after football practice too. So like we're all like showering.
Yeah. So now you've mixed mud, sweat, soap, and floor, and you're just playing worms.
Yeah. I saw one guy shave another man's pubes, so I saw that just a little bit.
Wait, this is the same locker room?
Yeah. Okay,
because you said that like you had been to war.
Yeah, no, this was in Thailand a couple months ago. It doesn't do with this story, but I just thought I'd tell it. So that's just the weird comfort factor of my locker room. I know this is now sidetracked entirely. People are going to forget that I was talking about an injury, and not just my my weird after dark locker room. But anyway,
after dark, broad daylight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like y'all would do all this weird stuff in the locker room, and then just go to class. Well, no, or is football practice after school?
Football practice after school. Yeah.
Okay, because you know how some sports they do like
some
during PE, and then some of them they do like before school. Like that was a big thing with soccer. Soccer sometimes would be before school started.
Some like volleyball and like basketball would do that, but football I think that's kind of harder to do. And then your kids are all banged up for school. You know?
Yeah, banged up. Now go learn math.
Yeah, yeah. But what was told to me then. So I brought that up because there was always like horseplay, and apparently this is a volleyball again came into play. I guess first someone was throwing on a football, I guess just like in the locker room, like bouncing off the walls, trying to hit everybody or something like that. But apparently then a volleyball came into play, and I guess I was trying to. I'm now out of the shower and in like the locker room area, and I turned to like run away from someone with the ball, and then my feet slip, and then I just come down completely on my head, and then my friends are all like laughing. They I guess they all thought it was a joke, and then I started shaking. I think they thought I was doing a bit, not realizing I was having a massive seizure actually. And that's part of where the shoulder injury comes from, because landing so hard on my shoulders, and then they said I actually probably seized so hard I probably actually hurt my shoulder because my body locked up so hard.
Yeah.
And then a giant pool of blood gathered around my head, and then my friends were like, "Oh no," and so luckily
blood and soap. And balls and floor and sweat.
Yeah. Then my friends just started sliding around in it back and forth. Good time for a blood race, you know.
This is the nastiest floor known to me.
And then, luckily, someone had just come down who was dressed. Because again, everyone had just gotten out of the shower. So I'm also just laying on the floor, covered in blood, surrounded by naked men. And I hope that's the only time that happens in my life. I really hope. I hope that's not how it ends for me. In this, I don't know, gangbang gone wrong. But
I mean, really, no banging. It's just sort of a naked gang.
I meant if it happens now. Yeah. Just a weird. We were playing strip poker, and then one day I don't know what happened. We didn't do anything, officer.
Yeah, it would be hard to explain why so many people are naked.
So many people naked. That
is a tough one. Naked person.
Yeah, and once if two answers are even close to conflicting, sorry, you're all murderers. Sorry, all of you, all you did it. Everyone did it in this version of Clue. But that luckily, I guess someone had just come down who was dressed, and they were like, "Call 911." And so they left, and then my friends, bless them for this, they saw me laying there, and they're like, "Well, I guess we should dress him." Which they shouldn't have done. You shouldn't move somebody who's laying there with a head injury. But so they decided to try to put my gym shorts on me. But They got both my legs into one pant leg of the shorts. And I know this because one of my few memories is, is from waking up in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And the lady above me just goes, Logan, you fell and hit your head. Like, are you okay? Like, how are you doing or whatever, checking it. And I just said, my balls hurt. And then I passed out.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I woke up in the hospital. I'm surrounded by friends, and like my parents are there, and my football coaches are in the back. And then I see my little brother's there with another friend of his, and they had a JV game that night too. That will become important in a moment. But I wake up and I just ask what happened, and my friend Randy, who's there, he goes, you fell and you hit your head, and you are in the hospital right now, so everything's okay. And I go, oh, okay. And then I look down at my arm, and I see the IV in my arm, and I act fake perplexed. I'm like, oh, what's this? And everyone just goes, ugh. And I'm like, oh, okay, I was just trying to lighten the mood. I didn't think it was going to bum you guys out so much. And then I look up at my little brother, and I go, did you win your game tonight? And he goes, no. And I said, pussy. I was in high school. That's why I said that. I don't talk that way anymore. Don't cancel me. But I said that to him there, and everyone just goes, ugh. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why is everyone mad at me? I'm in the hospital. You're supposed to be nice to people in the hospital. Why is everyone mad at me? And then my friend Randy just goes, you've done that 8 times. My brain was like trying to restart, and it was just skipping like a record. So I would wake up, ask what happened, make the same joke about the IV, and then call my brother a pussy, and then I would pass out, and I'd come to, and I would do it again. And I just kept doing that over and over and over again until the last one that I remember, because that's the only one I remember, and the only thing I remember from that day then really was that.
So, a couple things.
Yes, I'm just a couple.
One, that must be so scary for your family, friends, everything, to think that you're about to be the worst version of 50 First Dates.
Just every day.
Just every day you tell the same joke, you call your brother a pussy, and then you go to bed.
Yeah, me and my brother definitely wouldn't have the same relationship we do now if it had been,
honestly,
17 years of me just calling him a pussy every day.
The fact that you did it 8 times, if I'm your brother, I got to start to worry that you mean it.
Be great for that. On one of them that I don't remember, he was just like, listen, motherfucker, and like everyone like held him back. No, I don't care. I don't care where he's laying. I don't care.
I don't care. We can settle this now.
Yeah.
All right?
Talking shit. I don't care what bed you're in. Yeah.
And then the last thing, which I didn't include in the couple things, I actually had I won't get into it now. I'll save that for I'll save the story for a different day, but I had a similar thing happen to me. But I wasn't. No. I was not the person who had the concussion or anything.
Oh.
But yeah, basically way back in the day, this girl broke up with me, and then and then she hit her head real hard, and then a week later broke up with me again.
No.
But not like, it wasn't like as dramatic as yours.
Right.
She literally like played lacrosse. She hit a pole, lost some time, and then just forgot she did certain things.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't like yours where she was like in the hospital for a little bit and blah, blah, blah. I was
in the hospital for a night, and they let me go and didn't.
It is weird how quickly they let you go with head injuries.
Well, and they really shouldn't have. They also didn't warn like my mom at all that there might be changes, because then like my mom got freaked out because then I had really bad depression after that, because that's what happens when you slam your fucking head onto a floor and knock yourself out.
Yeah.
It usually triggers depression. And so my mom didn't know that, so she just got really scared for her son. And then we went to a different doctor because I started having I had trouble in math then. I went back to school and went to math class, and there was a quiz, and it was a weird sensation I've never really had before, where I'm looking at the sheet going, I just learned all of this, and I don't know how to solve a single part of it.
Yeah.
And like the doctor kind of figured out like the part of my brain that controls math is probably what I rocked real hard or something. And then also too, I would then start panicking, and then I just like couldn't finish the test. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember math at all. But then we went to another doctor, and my mom was just like, I don't know, he's been like down too. And the doctor was just like, oh yeah, no, he's probably depressed. That happens a lot with head injuries. And then she was like, oh, well, they just let us go. And he's like, oh, how long was he there? He goes, left the next day. And he was like, jeez.
That's insane.
So like the first hospital clearly didn't do it right, and the second hospital was like, oh man, that first one really should have done more for your kid's brain.
That is wild. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because you hear about things like that. And it's so often it's an adverse effect that's like fairly to really detrimental. Whereas I do feel like I've only ever heard two stories like this. They're very similar, so I won't tell both of them. But basically, there was there was a kid in high school who at least says that his uncle fell off a ladder and hit his head really hard, and then was way nicer after.
Oh, I've heard stories like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you only usually hear about, like, this adverse effect, or obviously it can cause depression.
Right.
It can cause, like, all of these other problems. But you rarely hear about the times where it's like, oh, he hit his head really hard. He had a really bad concussion. And then he really learned to chill out.
Yeah. No,
Because it wasn't as if he had a bunch of adverse effects. Plus, he was nicer. It literally, he was like a more relaxed person after that.
Well, not me. I was a real miserable fuck after that. Still am. No. I mean, I was depressed for a while, but
Yeah, you did, punch that guy.
What?
I was just trying to make something up of you being super aggro.
Yeah. You burned down that bar that wouldn't let you do a show there.
Yeah, you did choke that guy at Starbucks.
Yeah, but like I kept saying like it's Logan, and he was like Lucius on the cup, and I'm like, you fucking idiot.
All right. Well, let's see if you can remember my name when I burned you with this coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Now you remember my name. And I was walking out, and he was like, "Curse you, Loudon,"
Yeah, he was filed a police report. He was like, I think his name was Lucas.
Crazy dude.
Yeah. No, but
His brother was with him. He kept calling him a pussy. Out of nowhere.
That's always been something that's I found very like interesting and sometimes troubling is some of those effects after the fact, because it's like you also don't know. It's so hard to tell some of it because with things like with your thing, right? It's like, oh, these are stark differences in how I was before. But with other people, especially when they're even younger than you are, it's hard to tell because you're like, is this how they were going to be anyway? Or is this the injury? Or is this the, you know what I mean? And so I'm glad that, especially for your part, you really like overcame those general effects and were able to get the help you needed. Like, obviously it wasn't easy, but
it took some doing, and some of it took years. Didn't really get a lot of the depression till later because it just hung there. But
yeah.
The weirdest thing was kind of like trying to retrain myself in math without, like, 'cause then I just had to get good at. I taught myself just to get good at like fast math again because that was my junior year of high school, and then the prom theme that year was like a night in Vegas or whatever. And I remember with a friend, they like had like gambling tables in there, but you were just like gambling for like prizes or whatever. But we were playing blackjack, and I remember very distinctly the severe panic attacks like I was having inside adding up to 21. I was playing it off like I was bluffing, but really I was just like, I don't know what these add up to, because I was just like math was fucking with me. So, and I was in like algebra 3, by the way. Like I was in like good level math and doing okay until I hit my head so hard it kicked the math out. You fucking monster.
No. What it is that I'm imagining you in the movie 21 or something, and then Kevin Spacey, whoever, is like, we got a real shark at the table.
Yeah.
No one ever really knows what he's thinking or what he's trying to do, and then it's just you sweating, being like, all right.
Yeah.
I got a jack and I got an 8. Jack plus, because you're not just doing math, you're doing card math,
right? Yeah,
which is another layer on top of the fast math you're talking about.
Yeah, just imagine if you ever watched like a poker tournament again or something. Just imagine those cool guys who are sitting there with sunglasses on. Imagine if in their head they're just going, "Oh God, everyone knows. Okay, everyone's looking at you. Everyone's looking at you. Oh, they know you're stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid idiot."
Because that to me, it's like, but the fact that you were bluffing it actually makes it so funny because you're sitting there and then people are like, man, Logan got ice in his veins.
I was playing all stoic, and keep in mind too, it's prom, so I'm in a full tuxedo, just looking dead serious at a blackjack table, trying to look really, really stoic and serious, when really in my head I'm just like, now 4 + 2 + 5 is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Logan just keeps saying hit me. Man, he must have got all the threes.
He busted 4 cards ago. What's he doing? Just refusing. No, hit me again.
You're not even in anymore. It's between two people, and you're like from the side of the table, hit me.
Yeah. You want to know the weirdest thing though that I remember though from that incident, because I just have like flashes of stuff, but the weirdest thing was when you can't go to sleep, like when you have a severe concussion like that, like they come and they wake you up every so often. But they had me they would always ask me what words they gave me. They gave me 3 words to remember. And then so every time they woke me up, they'd be like, "Hey, do you remember the 3 words?" And I could always get 2 and not the 3rd one. But now I'll like never forget them because it was apple, banana, and tube. But I would always get apple, banana, and I could never get tube, which I think is on purpose to have like those first 2 go together and then a rogue one, you know. But that's the weirdest thing is like I will always remember apple, banana, tube, like
Man.
forever now.
Yeah.
That's like really stuck in my head from that experience because I was just like in the hospital bed as my head's fucking bandaged up, you know. And I'm in my hospital bed trying to like rest off brain damage, just sitting there being like, "Remember apple, banana, tube, you piece of shit. Remember these 3 words. You're embarrassing yourself in front of the nurses." Like it was just this weird like
Yeah, it was this like, weird pressure.
This pressure, this pride. Like I'm like, you have to win this game. Like it's not a
Yeah. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
That apple, banana, tube.
Apple, banana, tube. That's just.
You think we should call the episode that?
I was thinking about it. Could call it apple, banana, tube. That could be funny. A funny title. Just out of nowhere. Why is this one called Apple, Banana, Tube?
Oh, man. Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We are so happy that you have been tuning in, listening to our stories.
For 20 episodes. This is our 20th.
This is our 20th episode.
Doesn't it feel like 100th? But this.
Yeah, 20th? I do kind of want to celebrate our 100th because this has been a bit of a haul.
It's that strange thing of I know everyone talks about like, oh, time in 2020 is weird, but like it feels like we've been doing this podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
In a good way, where it's like,
yeah, I'm surprised we don't have more episodes.
I know, me too. I'm always surprised when we like are saving it. It's like, what episode is this? Like, oh, 7.
Yeah, I remember when we finally hit the double digits, and I was like, that's a lie. No, this has been so amazing. We are so grateful that so many of you have been reaching out to us and have been, leaving reviews. Please keep doing it because it really helps the show. It helps us broadcast to more people. And, the whole point of the show is to brighten people's days and give them something to relax to. I heard that, there's some people who haven't even finished a single episode of this podcast because apparently I put people to sleep. So I just want to keep doing.
That's why I'm here. My laugh is meant to jolt him back up. That's why we did this pairing. This is why it works.
Yeah.
It's a good team. As Josh is telling a story, and they start just getting a little bit, and then ha ha, and then they come back. So
yeah, it's a real rope-a-dope situation.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want to reach out to us personally, or for just leaving a review on the show or anything, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, at Josh J Comedy on Facebook, and at Josh Johnson Comedy on YouTube, where we're actually now posting full episodes of this very podcast.
Yeah. So this one you can watch and see what Josh meant by the chicken arm movements from the beginning of the show.
And if you're looking for Logan,
you can find me on Instagram. Logan M. Nielsen is my handle on that. And if you want to drop us a line, send us an email, which we are right now. We're still testing out in our Monday mailbag stuff. Or minisodes or however we're classifying the shit we do on Monday. Is
there's a lot of Mondays and M's.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be easier to be like, oh, we'll just shift Monday minisode to Monday mailbag, but really it's just made it jumble up more in my shower floor damaged brain. But you can email us. That's joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com, and we've been getting a lot of great ones. And please just know that. Like we're still getting to all of them, and we will get to all of them. Don't worry, we've got a couple people kind of like we had one that repeated again, like this is the same one, just to like remind us, which I appreciate too. But it's like, don't worry, we have too many cool people who listen to our show who want to drop us cool lines and fun topics too that we're going to get to. I'm excited, so make sure you check those out.
Yeah, keep even if you've left us something before, please leave us something again. We'd love to read it, and we'll read it on the show. And we've made a whole show out of reading it.
And we've read stuff from Price a couple times, and I have more from him we're going to get to. So
yeah.
So don't worry. Email, even if you've sent us an email before, email us again. We love hearing from you. And I believe too, if you get on Amazon Prime, you can watch Bo Rat 2. That's out now. You can check it out.
Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, Apple Banana Tube.
Oh no, it's our new sign off. Until next time, always remember Apple Banana Tube.
Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was growing up, I would hear these stories of people who were like really in the life, like they were doing bad things. They were like, this is bad. Probably gonna go to jail. And I heard this story one time. This dude, everybody got locked up, but there was this trap house. In case you're not aware, a trap house is where illicit materials are sold. Sometimes you might say trap house, or there might be someone who's like, so booby traps? Like, is it the trap door situation? Like when you walk in, watch out for the wire, you're gonna fall down to the basement? No, I mean drugs. I mean the buying and selling of drugs. And so this trap house was known for being pretty busy. It had become so busy that they had bought some property, several blocks away, and opened up another trap house. Business was booming. Things are going very well. Whenever you are selling so many drugs that you have to buy property, we are entering documentary territory. Most trap houses are really just dudes playing video games until somebody knocks on the door. Like, it's not a busy day, and you gotta stay at trap house the whole time because you don't know when someone might get the itch. And so they opened up another trap house, but this location was not as poppin' for some reason. They must have opened it in a bad neighborhood. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being all drugged, be like, I'm not going over there though, that's dangerous. And so even though they opened another location, and even though they tried to tell people, hey, you can come here or you can go over there, people liked the original trap house. It stayed just as busy as ever, with some business going on at the second location, but mostly it was here, right? And, okay. Let's just call him Jerry, all right? And Jerry ran both trap houses. And he did a pretty decent job, kept his books, kept his finances, really, like, he knew his inventory, he could have made a great store manager at any grocery store. There was this dude named Twan, and Twan found out about these very popular trap houses. Well, one popular, one not so popular, right? And he made a plan to rob the trap house, the main one, the lucrative one, right? So his plan for robbing the lucrative trap house was to basically set up a diversion at the one that wasn't as busy. So he basically faked a robbery at the one that was not as busy. He had some guys go over there, bang on the door, act like they had guns, they were about to break in, because he knew it would make everyone call Jerry. Jerry and his boys would go over there, By the time they get there, those guys have already left. And then the main trap house is left defenseless. They break in, Twan and them break in, they steal all this money out of the trap house, right? Take it back to their place. Now their place is Stash House. Stash House should be self-explanatory. If I've lost you at Stash House, I cannot help you. But the trap house has been robbed, everything's been taken back to the Stash House, okay? And then Twan and his boys thought they had made a killing. They were like, this is great. No one even knows that it was us, because they had planned it very well. They planned it all the way down to the detail of if those guys who did the fake robbery got caught, they wouldn't even know who hired them, right? But Jerry Jerry's no fool. Jerry started asking around, and he could kind of tell that some of these guys were lying, some of these guys weren't lying. He traced everything back to Twan. And so he set up a plan to rob Twan's stash house. To go in there and not just get his stuff back, but take the rest of whatever was in there. And his plan wasn't as meticulous. He just sort of ran up in there with a lot of men and guns. Now, what he did do is he waited. He learned the routine. He learned who would be there when. It took months. And then finally, he was like, we're going to do it on Tuesday. They never paying attention on Tuesday. We're going to run up in there. It's only going to be like 5 of them. If it's 15 of us, I don't think we'll meet a lot of resistance. It's not like it's their money. It's Twan's money. And so that's what they did. They broke up in there, went ahead, zip-tied everybody, and took everything, which took several trips. The people at the stash house did have to watch themselves be robbed for quite a while. Imagine you over here, you're not gonna get away with this. Then you think they've left, they come back in the door. Left all this right here. And so then one of them, being new to the lifestyle, being a new, some would say prospect gang member, was so appalled at the theft that when he freed himself, lacking all presence of mind, called the police. This man called the police and was like they ran up in there, they had guns and everything. They had a gun in my hands. He's telling all this to 911. They took everything. They took the weeds. They took all the money. Took my favorite Glock. And, some people were duct taped and everything, duct taped over the mouth, zip tied behind everything. So when, as soon as he called 911, he started freeing everybody else. As soon as he ripped that tape off, they're like, "What is wrong with you? We gotta get out of here now." And so then they all left. They all ran up out of there because the police, catching wind that there was a robbery of the stash house, made themselves available immediately. No, they got out in time not to get caught. They got out in time to see the police raiding the stash house from a few doors down. And that's the thing, is like people say, crime doesn't pay, or like criminals are dumb or whatever. But there are some very smart people who, for whatever reason, enter a certain lifestyle, choose to stay there, or maybe it's all that they know. And if criminals were so dumb, they wouldn't be fascinated. We are fascinated by career criminals. We're fascinated by people who do things that aren't just illegal. They have the gall to try to pull something off that has so many different entry points to danger. Like just in the past few days, the Louvre was robbed. And I have not been able to settle. This is amazing. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the Louvre or the Louvre or whatever, it's one of the most visited museums in the world, and people go there and then they act like they've been changed by art. And you ask them what they saw, they can't name anything or anybody. They were just like, no, the Mona Lisa was there, looking unimpressed. Well, there were these robbers that broke in, and they broke in dressed as construction workers, right? They had actually rented this like powerlifting vehicle that had a ladder that would bring them up to the next level where they could cut in, because they brought tools to cut in through the window and enter that way. They didn't want to just come through the front. And it made sense that they were dressed construction workers, because the Louvre is under construction. Permanently, I guess. It's always under. Why is Europe never finished? Europe always, all of Europe, always, unless you're out in the country, there's always like, oh, we gonna fix this road. We've been working on it since 1822. But that's y'all's fault. Y'all keep changing the roads. We just, right when we finished the cobblestone, y'all were like, no, it's asphalt now. And so look, they break in, and they break in with these power tools. They had like an angle grinder and everything. And that's when the alarms were going off and stuff. And then they get in through this museum window. And the part of the museum that they're in is where these rare crown jewels are being held, right? They didn't bother with the Mona Lisa. There was a crowd, this line. You'd never make it out. People would be like, no, I want to see. And people keep, they keep criticizing the security. They keep criticizing the people that were doing security. But those people did approach them. They were like, hey, you don't. you better not. Because what is museum security really supposed to do? Let's be honest. Let's be real. If you work security in any format, they should arm you with as much as it takes to protect what's supposedly valuable. Think about this. When you see someone working for like Brinks, right? And they bring a Brinks truck to do a deposit for a bank. Let's say a whole grocery store is like, hey, we got like $250,000 that we need to transport over to the bank to make our deposit. The bank is like, don't worry, we'll send somebody. They hire Brinks. Brinks comes over. They have a truck. And not just a truck, like a bulletproof truck. And then they get two people. They get two people to make sure nobody knocks you over the head when you're trying to grab the bags and put them in the truck. They get two people. And not just two people. Two of the biggest people you've ever seen. Like two people that are so big that it's like you are the gun, right? And then I think they give them a gun. They always hold in their pocket. Maybe they don't have a gun, but it looks like they have a gun. And they don't give them cuffs because they don't plan on taking any prisoners. And then they get in there. Brinks always handles a drop like they are being robbed. Like they always handle the drop the way a bank robber would handle the drop. Because I used to work at a grocery store, and Brinks would come in and they'd be like, so where is your safe, or what do you, hurry. And we'd be like, oh, it's over here. Okay, it's over here, all right. And then the one would get to work putting... The other one just watching us. I'm ringing people up. I'm putting more money in the till. And they were still like, but you might try anything. I don't know you. And then they would leave, and they'd leave all fast. And then they'd run into the truck, throw everything in the truck. And then they would always peel out a little bit, which made me uncomfortable. One time they came and did a pickup, and I was like, y'all sure that was Brinks? Because they were a little squirrely. But then, for some reason, there are times where you're supposed to protect, or you're supposed to hold guard of something, and you're giving less and less resources as you do it. Like, you look at a Brinks security guard, and then you look at like a mall cop. They're like, you get one flashlight. I guess shine it in their eyes or something. If you hit somebody hard enough in the head with it, the glass will break. That's something. But nobody gets done dirtier. Nobody gets done dirtier than museum security. Museum security, not only do they give you nothing, no flashlight, they don't even give you a stapler to hit somebody with. They give you nothing. All they give you is a dress code. They're like, hey, just show up in all black, nobody will mess with you. You show up in a black shirt with a black suit jacket and some black pants and black shoes, people think you John Wick. They won't even approach any of the art. Because truly, what is a museum security guard supposed to do? I go to a lot of museums. I try to go to a museum in every city that I do a show, if I can, right? And I've been in these museums, beautiful art. And then you get a little too close, and you see this thing go off, this like little, you don't even know where the alarm is, but like it'll just... That's the too close alarm. Because it's not like a real alarm. It's just annoying, and it goes off until you back up. So if you're a pointer, I go to a lot of museums with pointers. Everyone I take to a museum love to point. It's like we all three again, and they're like, I like the flap. And as soon as you hear, somebody works for the museum, comes over, black everything, with an attitude. Could you not? Ma'am, back up. They love that hair. Back up. Give it a little space. Let the art breathe. And you want to know who a museum security guard's arch nemesis is? Because it's not like a grown man. It's not a grown woman. It is any child. Any child will ruin their day. Because I don't know what it is about the frequency of the alarm, but if you're 4, you can't hear it. If you're 4, you're like, I was at the museum one time. This security guard was in a true predicament because this child was out here touching everything. He was touching it to the point that it sounded like their alarm was going off to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And finally, the security guard started like chasing his child around, and not like really chasing him, not like Dennis the Menace chasing him, but just like following them around, hoping to maybe this kid's gonna go back up to their parents or something and be like, "Can you please hold your child's hand or something?" Because they've been touching everything, got applesauce on everything. Because as a security guard, what are you gonna do? You can't grab this kid. You can't actually grab this. I know that sounds crazy to anybody who was born in any era before that. You have to kind of let this kid put applesauce on all the art, because if you touch this kid, you've committed murder. So if you snatch this kid and even hold their hand so you can find their parent, you are basically killing them. So you have to like let them kind of do it, but then follow them around, but then not touch them, but then make sure they don't touch anything. It would look terrible. And so finally, this security guard just started running interference on every item. This child was walking up, getting ready to touch a sculpture. Security guard getting in there. No. Just trying to box him out of every room. And then finally, this kid, realized what was going on. Felt like it was a game. So this kid is like, "Oh, you want to play? I love to play. Playing's my favorite thing. Playing's basically my job." And so he running interference. There's a painting. And finally, this kid gets boxed in. And even the security guard's like, "I don't know what to do now." Because like, this would be when you would like snatch their hand and be like, "Hey, is your child not with you in the museum? I might have them." But he was like, doesn't want to touch his kid, but doesn't want the kid to touch anything else, but then is in the corner, but then is also a grown man cornering a child in a corner. Just because you're at work doesn't make it look better. All this kid has to yell is "stop," and you going straight to jail. I'm your only witness, and I'm not really here right now. And so his kid boxed into the corner, and you can see the kids having fun. Kids over here. Nowhere to go but under. This kid slipped under his legs and ran away. This man turned around. Started chasing after this kid even more. And then the kid went to the only room he hadn't got applesauce on. And was next to this painting. I don't really remember who painted this, but it was a huge, huge painting of a ship in a storm. And it was one of those that was like, it was a marvel because of its scale. So it's not like one that you just hang up and 6x8, whatever. This thing was huge. It took up almost the entire wall, which meant he could definitely reach it. This kid walked up to the painting, and now the whole thing is a game. Touching the stuff's a game, trying not to get caught is a game. This kid's having fun. He thought museums were boring. He's having the time of his life. This kid standing next to the painting. And admittedly, I was also running after them so I could keep watching. I didn't try to help them at all, but I was like, I gotta see the rest of this. Like, what you gonna do? This man gonna run out of breath soon. Security guard gets in the room, huffing and puffing. And he just goes, even the kid for a second was like, "Ooh, are I might have killed a grandpa. I don't even know. And then this kid goes in his pocket and lifts an applesauce covered finger. And I was like, it's been in his pocket the whole time. Children are disgusting. This kid been running around with a pocket full of applesauce this entire museum trip. And then Unc running security goes, don't. This kid, no words, no emotion in his eyes. You can tell he gonna grow up to be a bad person. This kid, applesauce covered finger just went, beep. And so if a security guard is defenseless against a child, what do you expect them to do against actual robbers with angle rods that they just used to break into the second floor window? Because the security ran up on him, no, hey, get out of here, none of that. And then they went, vroom, vroom, vroom. Security was like, you know what, let us help you. Everybody out. Everybody out. Everybody get out now. Security made everybody get out but them. Don't you see these men working? Get out. They over here on time crunch. And you over here, ooh, look at the jewels. Get out. In fact, there was a news report that cracked me up. I laughed so hard because the security report, there was this person who, I don't think they were like head of security for the Louvre or anything, but they were basically like, it is museum security's #1 job to make sure that the people are safe, and that's what they did. They made sure the people were safe. I was like, you are changing the narrative right now, because anytime I got too close to a painting and I heard the and then I had somebody come over, it didn't seem like it was for my protection. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were running up, hey, that one, that painting, that wakes up. Don't get close. Please. And so then, robbers start grabbing everything, grabbing these like Napoleon era empire crown jewels, right? They grab so much, they grab too much. They actually grab so much, they drop one. They drop one of the crowns outside. And this is gonna sound dumb. This will sound dumb, so bear with me, because I know it's gonna sound dumb, but I don't think it's dumb, all right? I thought, truly, even when I went to museums, for as many museums as I go to, I've been to museums in Europe, I go to museums here, I go to every museum that I can. I thought for certain that when you see something in a museum, that under certain circumstances is a replica. I can tell by your reaction that some of y'all think I'm dumb and some of y'all think what I thought. I'm telling you right now, when I would go to the museum, I would admire the brushstrokes, I'd admire everything, but I would be like, this is the fake one though. Like this has to be the fake one. And I thought that because if you remember, right before 2020 and even after the pandemic, you would have activists that would go to museums. These, climate activists would go to museums and they just throw like tomato soup on supposedly priceless paintings, right? They would go up to like a Van Gogh and be like, blah, and then they glue themselves to the wall or something, and then they would be like, this is why we did this, and you will have to listen to me for as long as it takes to unsuperglue my hand from the wall. Because people who are climate activists feel like no one is listening to the point where the only thing that will get any attention or like stop people for a second to listen to them is just extreme acts that knock you out of whack. You know what I mean? Just things that you go, what? What they did? What? Why did they do that? And then they get to explain. It's like the better version of canvassing, because they tried to canvass. They really did. Everyone that cares about the climate tried to canvass, and what did you do? You walk by them. They were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And you're like, I'm headed to work, please. I was with a friend one time, and look, I've stopped plenty of times. I can't stop every time. And so they were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And then my buddy was like, no, we're good, and kept walking, have a good day. And this dude got really bad. This dude canvassed and was like, you on the planet? You don't have a minute for the planet you on? But that was happening a decent amount. There were these supposedly priceless paintings. They were getting vandalized, people throwing Campbell's soup on them and everything. So then I was like, surely a museum would not allow Campbell's soup to get thrown on the real one, like the regular one, because the museum was always super chill about it. The museum, they would like throw tomato soup on a Van Gogh and the museum would be like, stuff happens, we gonna get it off. You gonna what? You gonna get it off? Because when I got close, when I tried to smell the painting, I heard, and then you came over, no smelling. It was get it off, no big deal. Or you would see things like I don't know about you, but the tomato soup that I eat got a little oil to it, and you throw it on an oil painting, it seems like it might leave a stain. I have no idea. But then you would see the museum come out and be like, no permanent damage was done to the artwork. And I'm like, how? I've dropped suits that were clear on my hoodie before it had the stain forever. How's this 200-year-old acrylic painting fine? It must be a fake. I used to think that, look, if you go to a museum and you see just like you could touch it, that one can't be real. But if you go to a museum and it's behind glass, that's the real one, because they bothered to protect it. Why are you just bothering to protect some pieces? That doesn't make sense to me. So then, in my head, I was like, those aren't the jewels. You know what I mean? That's just colored glass. These people so stupid, they ran up in there and risked their freedom for some colored glass. And then the French government came out and said, priceless items have been stolen from the Louvre. And I was like, that's the real jewel! Y'all didn't run any armed security around the real crown jewels? For a split second, I felt like it was my money. I was like, what are y'all doing? Ooh, I need to sit down. You said it was priceless, and then right after saying it was priceless, they were like, it's about $100 million. I was like, oh, seems like a price. You said priceless for a day and a half, and then immediately y'all were like, I think 103 probably. At least round up to 110. And then, in my opinion, museum handled it wrong. You know, they were over here freaking out. Everybody, the French government, they got everybody on it. They got like their version of the FBI. They have the local police. They have everybody on it. They plastered all the jewels that were missing all over international news and everything. If I was trying to save face, let's say I was head of museum security, I was trying to save face, I would come out to the public immediately after the robbery and be like, y'all, that was Banksy. Y'all know Banksy play too much. But this is where I wish that they had done a better job of being creative, being inventive, you know? You've just been robbed, one of the boldest robberies that we've seen. And you are the most visited museum in the world. Why don't you just see this as a W? You know what I mean? Instead of freaking out and shutting down the whole wing and staying closed for a day, all you gotta do is put that tape around the crime scene and make that an exhibit. We all wanna see it. Bring people in. Make the security guards that did do their job, the tour guides, just be like, it was 4 of them. They ran up in here. I was like, hey, get out of here. They were like, ving, ving, ving. I was like, you right. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, but I'm telling everybody, and that's why I'm telling you now. And yeah, you can see the glass right here. Take a piece of glass home. You can take a piece of glass home if you want. The jewels used to be right there. That's crazy, right? Jewels used to be just like, and the light used to hit it like that, but then they brought the grinder and so. But they were real. That's why I'm doing this now, or else I'd be fired. Oh, it sucks. It does. It sucks because, like, it's just gonna turn museum security into TSA. You know what I mean? Because look, this was, as far as museum security goes, this was their 9/11. So if you think you're just gonna roll up in there and have a good time, that's not what's gonna happen. You're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, all right, shoes off. They all gonna have the wand now. Oh, brutal stuff. You gonna walk into your local museum. You're not even in France. But there's gonna be that security guard takes his job extra serious and be like, you're not gonna get me, not today. Pants down. Pants down. No, I got to check. You could have anything in there. You could have an angle grinder in your pants or something. You know, we have some very expensive cups here. I love a tour guide at a museum because then they'll tell you how expensive something is. And at least with the pottery, maybe this is me not being cultured, but some of the pottery that's in museums, and then they'll tell the story of how the pottery got to the museum, and then they'll be like, you know, this is worth easily $100,000. And I'll be like, nah, it's not. It's not. Like, it isn't. Like, it is not. As much as it is here, it is not worth that. Like the function of is, like it is here, like it exists, like it is. It is here. And it is not worth that. And you know how it's not? I know it's not worth that. I know it's not worth that. Because you had to tell me how much it was, because I thought it was worth nothing. I thought y'all dug it up and brought it here, because y'all were like, this was just in the ground. Isn't that interesting? I bet you people aren't leaning over the register at the gift shop being like, how much was that clay cup? I only have 50,000 on me. Dang. I would have loved that clay cup that looked like a caveman did it. Because I need to be clear here. I'm not just trying to be rude. The one that I'm talking about, it wasn't like some beautiful African art. It wasn't like a Greek pot or something that was painted with a story on it. It just looked lumpy. It just looked lumpy to the point where I was like, even when they drank out of this, there's no way they got the water on a consistent basis. You could tell it's primitive because it looked like a cup that gulps. Looked like it pours when it wants to. Lip of it all uneven and everything. This is $100,000. I'm like, all right. You sure you didn't look at it too fast and add 2 extra zeros? Because I don't think so. There was a guy. There was really, really a rich guy, apparently. I don't know. I don't know him, but everybody was saying how rich he was. And he got on the Instagram to actually, physically cry about the crown jewels being stolen. And he gave this whole speech about how, like, the robbers, because there's this assumption that the robbers aren't going to be able to just sell the jewels they stole as is. There are plenty of people in the world that would pay the money it would take to sell them just as is, and maybe they just keep it and only they know they have it. But art collectors usually like to show off their collection, and so they can't tell anybody. So it's better just go ahead and maybe melt it down, sell the jewels. The jewels themselves are still very expensive. In fact, you'll see where throughout history pieces have been stolen. Mona Lisa was stolen before. Pieces sometimes get stolen, but unless you can sell it to someone, what's it really worth? And so there's speculation that already these jewels have been melted down and being sold for parts, or maybe pieces are being sold that might not be able to be traced back to the complete set. And this guy got on social and he was just crying. Dude had to be in his like 50s, something like that, and he was like, it was that crying where, okay, you know, it was like the crying you do when you're little, but you let yourself do it again when you get grown if something gets to you enough. Which is crazy, because he went online to cry, but then was fighting the crying. But he's fighting the crying to camera. But then just don't turn the camera on yet. Like, if you let it out real quick and then do your video. You doing the video, like, no one putting the video in your face right now. You doing the video and you wait, just wait. No one asked for this video. You could wait a day. You could wait till you're over it, or you could just not do it. But this dude got some people just cry like they choking, and it's just. And then then he said a bunch of stuff, and he did say it in French. I don't speak French, so I'm going to paraphrase from what everybody said he was saying. But I know he said some of this because a lot of people said he said it, and then I know there's some of it that might be like editorializing what he said because I don't know if he said that because I don't speak any French. And then also he didn't even say what he said in French well because he was crying through the whole thing. Like. And look, to be fair, maybe some of that was crying and maybe a little bit of that was the accent. Maybe some of that was the accent because there are certain people that when they speak French, they do seem upset for no reason. So then that's... It's like, was that a cry or was that one? Were you saying one just now? Were you like, or is that you trying to hold it together? Because that's why you should have waited to make the big... That's a cry. That was not French. That one. And what this dude basically said was that you didn't just steal from the Louvre. You stole from the French people. You stole a piece of our heritage. You stole a piece of our history. And if you melt that down, if you repurpose that, if you sell that, you will burn in hell because you have stolen from the people. And I'm almost positive. I don't know everyone who's seen the video. I just know that I saw it. But I'm sure if you saw that video and you were from Africa or Brazil or just anywhere, I'm sure you watched it and you were like, oh no. Someone stole a piece of your heritage? What are you gonna do? Someone in Sri Lanka is like, not France. No. What are you going to do? And look, I can understand if you are from some of those other countries, if you're from like an African country or something like that, if you're from Haiti and you see this thing, that you might be like, oh no, not the Louvre. They have our stuff too. Did they steal our stuff? Now it's going to be harder to find. Because that's also what was there. So now, oh no. Someone stole it, you know? I just love the story so much. I love the robbers. Because look, because they even showed up. They weren't just dressed in a construction outfit. They had on the, you know what I mean, the mask and top and bottom. You know, they were wearing the baklava. I don't know. I love this crime so much because it feels a lot like. It feels a lot like somebody that runs a trap house robbing a stash house, and then the person from the stash house is like, we gotta call the police. I can't believe somebody would steal from us. This is unacceptable behavior. We stole all this stuff fair and square. This was ours. And then they took it from us in an act of injustice. Stanford, y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a phenomenal time.
All right, he is the newest news correspondent for The Daily Show. He's hilarious. You're going to love him. Put your hands together for Josh Johnson.
Okay. I don't know if y'all heard about that dude in Wisconsin that faked his death and maybe moved to Europe. If you haven't heard about this, great. Okay, so basically, what we know is that supposedly there was a man who faked his death and might be in Europe right now. And he has a family, right? 3 kids, a wife, and everything. And one thing we usually don't do as men is give a man the credit that we owe him for being the new bottom. Like the new lowest common denominator. Like as men, we need this man. We need him, all right? You know anytime you mess up as a man, when there's a man near you who has messed up worse, you'd be like, hey, I could be that guy. You know, next time you forget a birthday or something, be like, baby, look, I'm sorry I messed up. But you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. Some people do that. I love you and I would never. If I die, it'll be for real. I'm a good man. When I die, it will be of an ulcer or something. You know what I mean? Something where you've really held the pain in, didn't talk to anybody, didn't try to do anything about it. You know, real man stuff. I'm gonna do what men are supposed to do. I'm gonna support this family, not go to therapy, hold it all in. And then one day grab my chest like, and you'll know that maybe we should have left this one argument alone, right? Because I would never fake my death and move to Europe. I've done plenty of things, plenty of dumb things. Sometimes I'm just like having a good day, not really paying attention, and then you come in and you haven't had a good day. So you're telling me all the things that happened in your day that were not good. And instead of listening, I'm just sort of nodding, right? I'm just sort of nodding and being like, Different versions of like tasting something when you're telling me a story. And then you catch on that I'm not listening. So you ask me, what did I just say? And then I say, what did I just say? And you can tell I haven't been listening. And I know I should listen. I know that you're telling me this to vent because you trust me and you want my input on your day, right? I know that I let you down, but you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. I'm not saying it makes me a hero, but it definitely stops me from being a villain. Oh, as men, that's one of our favorite things. When you mess up, but then somebody messed up next to you and it's way worse. You know, it's like when you go out to eat, go out to a nice dinner, you know, you take your lady out and you're having a good time and everything. And then something comes up, maybe it's a little annoying, and maybe you start to like bicker a little bit, you know, just like at the table, in between the server checking on you, just a little bit of like, well, you don't even know, you know that. Oh yeah, you know that good whispering. You know that in between your teeth. Not here. You know, you got both on edge and everything, so you in between the teeth, that she's over here saying everything, but just at that level of like half miming, half voicing, just like, I'm just trying to keep things together, okay? I'm just trying to keep the whole family together. Server comes up, is like, can I get y'all anything? Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine. That was a good night. How are you doing? How's your night going? And it's tough, you know, because you'll be in the moment just bickering. And then out of nowhere, a couple next to you, the next table over, that haven't been bickering, the couple that you look at like, why can't we be like them? She stands up and she throws wine in his face. And she's like, what do you mean your mistress is pregnant? And now all of a sudden you're like, I'm pretty good, right? Like I'm a pretty good guy? Huh? Can you give me that? That I didn't do all that? Like, you got the white wine, you wouldn't have even stained my shirt. Like, I would never put you through that, what those strangers are going through right now. And so it's good. It's good to have a new low as a man. You know I'm telling the truth. You know sooner or later you're gonna be in an argument and you're like, fine, all right, I'm no prize. But I'm here, right? Huh? I'm not in Europe, am I? I talk to you when we have a problem. I talk to you like a man. I don't hide my wallet on the shore. Yeah, this guy apparently faked his death and moved to Europe. And like, there's a lot of layers here. There's a lot of things to unpack, because let's also not pretend that there's never a reason to fake your death. All right, before we pass full judgment, I'm not saying this dude isn't a piece of shit for doing what he did. I'm saying that, like, there are reasons in life to fake your death. I'll go over some of them right now. Y'all look like you don't believe me. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, back in the day, when I was in Chicago, I was hanging out with some friends. This is like about 5, 6 of us, right? And one of my friends, we're all in our like early 20s, by the way. One of our friends bought a yo-yo. And like gentlemen, none of us mentioned it. None of us were like, we're out here trying to get the ladies and you brought a yo-yo. You bringing the whole vibe down. And he brought his yo-yo and he was doing all the tricks. You know what I mean? You know, making it sleep and then popping it back up like a superpower. You know what I'm talking about? Those like... Because he had the one that had the like little acrylic... with the lights, yes. It had the lights. And the little acrylic sound like... like it would do the like... when it was at the bottom. If you ever want to hear the sound of women leaving, it's that. And so he's like, and then he was doing around the world, and he was doing all the like walk the dogs and stuff like that. He was really good if you were 15. And so then, you know, he finally does one, and it comes back to shoot up, but it passes his hand, and it hits him in the face, right? And he's hurt. Okay, you ever been hurt so bad that you couldn't make noise? It hit him, right? And instead of even screaming, he just was like, oh. Is that hurt where you just have to slap something to like transfer some of the hurt while you're hurting? It didn't hit him and fly. It's in his mouth, by the way. Like it's stuck. We're still looking at it. He didn't move it. It's where his mouth should be. It's just a yo-yo, and he's like. And then he spits out the yo-yo, and a tooth flies out with it. And if he had faked his death, I would get it. If he was like, I need to start over from here, I would understand. Like, I really do get it, how people get to that place where they gotta fake their own death, because this was very hurtful and embarrassing. Or just a guy, I saw this guy online, and he had this weird energy about him, and it happens to dudes sometimes, and he was like that dude at the club that shouldn't be at the club, and I don't mean like he's old or something. I mean, he has an unsettling energy where he's trying to be more fun than anyone knows that he is. You know what I mean? You're like, you know that guy that's like, whoa, but it's like no woo is happening. We've all been around that person, like, yeah, and it's like, but it's a barbecue. I don't know why you are trying to bring all this extra. And so that's what he was doing. He was in this club. He's like, yeah, woo, woo, and like, there's not even that many people there, so there's nothing to lay cover. There's not even enough noise for like his energy versus what's actually happening, because people are just kind of casually dancing, and he, yeah. And then there's a woman that is like near the stairs, right? And I don't know what the stairs lead to, maybe the bathroom or something like that, but this woman is near the stairs, and she's like twerking along the wall, and she's like really got it going, like she's very good, right? And then this guy walks up, and he's like, yeah, and he like slaps her ass a couple times, and then starts doing this and everything, and then goes to go down the stairs. But then, right as he goes to go down the stairs, his feet give up. His feet decide that they don't want to be a part of him, right? And so, rather than walking down the stairs, this man trips with both his feet. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. This man trips with both his feet and then rides just his knees and shins down the stairs. And when I say rides, I mean, like, have you ever been on a sled? It's like that. It's exactly like that, but without the sled. He's just riding down, Home Alone style, just... And he's screaming, and you can barely hear him scream because the music is loud, but he's screaming so because he's riding his knees and shins down every step. They did not miss a step. Every knee hit every stair, and his shins hit all of the stairs. And so he's like, like a bird, right? Screaming like a bird the entire way down. He hits every step. And for some reason, I don't know why he thought it would help, but he's holding the handrail the whole time. And he's like, ah, ah, ah. And if that guy faked his death, you would get it. You would be like, yeah, you gotta start over. You gotta start, I would say move to a place that doesn't even have music. Like, you gotta do some different things. Move to a plateau. That's the type of, don't even have any elevation where you live, because what if you have to go upstairs again? We don't know if you'll make it down. When I was growing up, I knew a kid who was dating someone for a long time. They started dating young, right? And it was very sweet. And it was in the same, how do you put this? It was in the same way that, like, you hear grandparents tell stories about falling in love, is how he fell in love. Because he said early on, I'm going to marry this girl, right? And he had to have been like 18, something like that. I'm going to marry this girl. He said it early, right? And he did the thing that we look at as like the most romantic thing possible, buys a ring within a year, but doesn't do anything with it, you know. Waits years. I bought the ring when I was 19. We're dating. We're 23. I bought the ring years ago because I was sure. I know, right? And, you know, they have their little fights and stuff like that. They have little spats and stuff. But then one day he decides, like, yeah, this is it. And he takes her on a trip, right? And they go on a trip that's like kind of the woods. I don't know. They rented a cabin. But they have their little fights on the way and everything. And overall, it's a nice time, you know. They cook. They watch a movie and everything, and he decides he's going to propose to her while they're sitting on the couch when they get done watching one of her favorite movies. They both cooked, but then he had a cupcake. He put the ring in the cupcake, and they were going to share a cupcake, and whenever she got to the middle, that's where the ring would be, he would ask her, right? And he had the whole thing planned out, and he even had his speech planned out per bite, because he was going to take these little bites and then, you know, bite, ring, right? And so he starts it, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Takes a little bite, passes it to her, and she's like, what? Takes a big bite. Takes, to say they're supposed to be sharing, takes an inconsiderate bite. Like this, you know, like when you're a couple and you order something and they're like, can I have a little bit of yours? And you're like, sure. And then they slide a whole more than a little off your plate onto their plate. And you're like, you should have said half then. If you want half, say half. Don't say a little bit when you know it's half. Because you know you like my orders because I know how to order. You over here experimenting, trying to have an experience, and then you don't like what you got. Now you want half of what I have, which would normally be fine, but you said a little bit. If you said split, then we good. You say split, then we're splitting. That's what half is, splitting. You said a little bit, and now I don't even know what it tastes like because you didn't pick up, because mine came first, and you went ahead and picked off mine, then took half when you got yours. So now I've had at least a seventh of the meal that I ordered that I think is good, but I don't remember how it tastes because it just sort of left my memory so fast. And so she's taking these big bites, so he got to take smaller bites, and he got to turn the cupcake when he passes it back to her to make sure her bites don't interfere with his speech, because now he got to hurry up the speech because the bites are too big. And so now he handing her the thing from the bottom, just bite this part. I'm almost done. And when he hands her what's basically a ring covered in a little bit of cupcake to try to bite, at the same time that he says, will you marry me, she says, I think we should break up. And so if you want to fake your death, like that's kind of like the opportune moment to be like, oh, yeah, you want to break up, and I want to get, I'll be right back. And then just move to Europe, I suppose. But yeah, so this dude in Wisconsin faked his death, maybe moved to Europe, and the way he did it, this is my thing, okay? So, first of all, he goes on a kayaking trip alone, right? Which, to be fair, is very much missing activity. You know what I mean? That should actually be in the brochure. Hey, do you want to get away from everything forever? Come kayaking by yourself. This dude goes kayaking by himself, actually texts his wife on like the 11th, and it's like, hey, heading back, whatever, right? But then doesn't head back. On the 12th is when he supposedly would have capsized, or, they think he may have drowned or something like that. They put on this whole search because by the 13th, his family hasn't heard from him. They're concerned, right? So they send out the search, and like a search of volunteers who search acres and search the water. They use sonar. They use all this technology to try to find this dude. And there's actually a dude that works with the organization that does the searching that tells the sheriff, hey, listen, this is weird. Because I'm not saying if I can't find him, he can't be found. I'm just saying I'm pretty good at what I do. And he either not in this water or he went missing somewhere else, because I know what I do. Like, I'm very good at this. And we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing any signs, anything. And then, sure enough, they decide to go ahead and look into a possibility of him maybe going missing somewhere else. They also run his name just to make sure, right? And when they run his name, they find that he went to Canada on the 13th, right? So, not missing, using his name, running his name, so they can travel, maybe go to Europe through Canada, right? And this is where it starts to be clear that he does not know how to disappear. This is where it's clear he's watched a lot of TV but has not put in the work, because this is what this bonehead did. Okay, so basically, this man said that his passport was lost, because his passport's at home, right? Because I've disappeared, I'm missing, I might have died, right? But his passport is at home. What he did was he just put in for a new passport so that he'd have a passport to leave behind and to use. The only problem is that when they run your name, it's still you. What kind of dumb spy move is that? That's still your name. That's like getting pulled over and handing the cop a fake ID. You still in the car. Like this. And then his wife goes through his computer and stuff, and they find everything. They basically find where this dude has looked up how to exchange money into a foreign bank. He's looked up how to travel, how to disappear. And this is my worry. I have the feeling that this dude thought that he covered all his tracks because he put everything in the recycle bin. And then left it there. Like that, I genuinely think that's what happened. I think this dude was just moving files and they'll never catch me. I'm a mastermind. It's painful, right? So they find everything, and then his wife gives it to the police and stuff, and the police are like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty dumb, They even find where he took out a life insurance policy for I think $375,000, something like that. And this moment was where I had a journey in how I felt about this dude. Because initially when I heard it, I was like, what a terrible person, right? But then when I heard about the life insurance policy, I was like, wait, maybe I'm judging too quickly. Because if this dude is leaving a life insurance policy for his family, maybe he's just trying to make a clean break. Maybe this dude is like, look. I'm not a good father anyway. Let's at least part ways like this. Let me go ahead and get you some money for your trouble, and I'll go and I'll live in Europe and everything. Most dads leave for free. This dude, there's a high likelihood that this dude was like, let me break you off some bread, right? I'm gonna start a new life. You could go through college for free. And then I saw what it doesn't look like he's tried to claim the life insurance policy, which would also be insane. That would be, I don't know much about insurance, and I don't like insurance companies, but that would be hella out of pocket to show up and be like, y'all, I died. I'd like the money from me dying, please. See, the policy says right here, if I die, this is how much whoever gets, and whoever is me and I died. So can you please make the check out to me? And so then I went back and forth. I was like, oh, maybe. No, actually, no, he's just a bad person. Just a bad dude. Faking his death, leaving his wallet, leaving his kayak, leaving his family. And then they find that apparently he's been talking to someone. He didn't just try to leave. Because that's another thing. When I thought he was just trying to leave, I was like, okay. It's not how you handle it. But some people, they have an episode. They're like, I need to get away. I don't know how. But then when I found out, like his family found out, that he left to be with some lover in Uzbekistan. That's also when my feelings sort of went up and down because I was like, oh, you're not even doing it in some like I can't live this life sort of way. You know what I mean? Like you're not having a midlife crisis in that way. You're just trying to cheat. All right, no, I can't get down with this. But a part of me momentarily did feel bad for him because I was like, wait, you met a woman in Uzbekistan. Oh, he's never been catfished before. This is my thing. I don't know if y'all have seen, you don't have to tell me if you know what I'm talking about. We can all just act innocent. But there are, in this world, illicit sites. Illicit sites where you go to watch people the beast with two backs. And then in these sites are ads for local singles in your area. Or even better, ads for very willing women who would love to marry you in Russia and Uzbekistan. I think my man may have fallen for one of these ads. That or he's been watching too much 90 Day Fiancé, because I feel like, come on now, how well do you know this person? And so now you faked your death to go to Europe to be with someone who might not even be real. That's wild. You gonna blow up your whole life for some text messages? I mean, really, how good are those texts? You know what I mean? No one found a picture. No one knows what this person looks like. They just know that, someone enticed him in some bad English. And now he's headed over there. And I don't know. I feel like you clearly have to be in a bad place to do something like this. You have a family, you know what I mean? You have people that depend on you, and you're about to throw it all away to go to a place I'm sure you can't spell. Because never forget, this man is an American. That's also what you have to keep in mind here. He over here trying to travel as an American, trying to get help in English and stuff. People in Romania speaking Romanian. He doesn't understand it. He's like, I just need to get to Uzbekistan. Do you know how to go left in Europe? Now he gets over there. Who knows what life is waiting for him, you know? I'd like to think that this woman in Uzbekistan really does exist. And she's mad as hell right now. She's like, no, we were supposed to go to America. Are you serious? You can't live with me. Because that's what would be, truly wild. If this dude comes back defeated. Just comes back to his family and is like, listen, y'all, look. I know what I did. I'm very sorry. Can you take me back? I've found, a new life here with you. I just want to be back with my family. Because obviously I hope this doesn't happen. But it would be kind of funny if while he's missing this whole time, he comes back home and his wife kills him. That would that'd be crazy. This dude show back up at his doorstep and his wife already got the shotgun and everything. He's like, baby, no. He's like, baby, I don't talk to ghosts.
When I